This is Tailgate Talk, presented by Tarpon Blue. In this series, we're going to show you everything Texas and its surrounding southern states has to offer from our very own tailgate. We'll take you from life on the farm and the ranch to the big city lights. This is Tailgate Talk. Come along for the ride.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Tailgate Talk. I'm Katie Abrameit and we're in beautiful downtown Seguin, Texas, right here at Seguin's very own ZDT's Amusement Park. Come inside and let's go see if we can find Danny so he can tell us a little bit more about ZDT and how it got started. Hey guys, we're here inside ZDT and we found Danny. How are you doing today, Danny?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about ZDT, how y'all got started? I know y'all have been open for quite a while. I think you were saying 17 years.
Yeah, 17, almost going on 18 years. We opened up in 2007, March the 7th, 2007. And we named it after our three kids, Zachary, Danielle, and Tiffany. And when we got started way back then, they were just little guys at the time. Now they're all grown up, out of college and on to careers. But yeah, I used to have a body shop here in Seguin prior to this, and we built the park, sold the body shop, and started full-time on this in 2007. We started construction in 2002. So the first 5 years was dedicated to this building here. And me and my dad and my brother did 90% of the work in here. Hired some contractors to do, so the brick guys and the roof guys, but a lot of it we did ourselves, from the flooring and some of the structural. And so yeah, slowly but surely we pouring money into it and getting it all ready. So 5 years later, we opened up with 5 attractions in the main building. We had video games, our rock climbing wall, our bungee jump trampoline, and our Max Flight, or it was a Max Flight Simulator, I guess it was at that time, and our big jungle land with Velocity that all ages can play in, and our kitchen, Danielle's kitchen. And then shortly right after that, we added, the following year, we added the go-karts in one of our warehouses. And then every year, back then, we were adding 1, 2, sometimes 3 attractions every year, and we were just growing and growing and growing. Yeah, and
so you're a full-scale amusement park now. You have a roller coaster. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the roller coaster?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. So when we first started, and we had a painter in here do all this artwork, there's in the kitchen area, there's roller coasters all over the place. And at that time, I was operating the front, and little kids would come in. I'd talk to the customers, and I can remember multiple times where the kids, I don't understand why you have a roller coaster in there when you don't have a roller coaster, because I had a dream. And I told them, I said, one day we're going to have a roller coaster. And in 2015, in October of 2015, we opened up the world's only wooden roller coaster. I repeat that, the world's only wooden roller coaster that goes forward and backwards. It is a one-of-a-kind, never been done before. That's what Seguin's got, world class. And when we opened it up, we had coasters enthusiasts from all over the world had to do it. And they flocked in and to ride it, and they still do today.
I always think it's so neat how you've done it because, you said you had a vision and a dream, and I think you can really tell that when you come in here. You want people's kids to come in and feel that vision and that dream, and the way that the roller coaster goes throughout the whole park, it goes around the buildings, and the way you've kept the integrity of the historical buildings as well is really interesting.
Yeah, I think our youngest building on this property is 1970, and that's back at the water park, and it's the metal building. Beyond that, we have a couple that are a little older than that at 1950, and then you get into the good ones, like this main building in the early 1900s, and then over at our turning point where we have bigger group gatherings there that they can rent that building. That's our oldest building on our property, which is 130 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then our new building that we've got rented, it used to be the old arcade. We turned it into Midway Point. And it's a smaller venue that has like a 25-person minimum where they can have this room or this building for 4 hours. That building is, I have a picture of 1904 with a horse and cart out front.
Oh, wow.
From the old Traeger company, which had this building too. That's where they started. So that was in the late 1800s that was built.
Oh, wow.
And interesting about this property is a lot of it, or the whole block, was owned by one family at one time. The Traegers had the majority of it, and then they got their cousins. But this building, and I know the Midway Point building, that hadn't been owned by another family until I bought it in 1998. Since the 1800s, it was in their family.
Oh, wow.
So for over 100 years, it was in their family until I bought it in 98.
So you can come here and get amusement and history.
Yes.
All right, and you said a water park. Talk to us a little bit about the water park, because that's always something nice to be able to do.
Yeah, you bet. So we, as we were adding on through the years, in 2010, we added our first water ride. And that was the Mad Raft. It's a water coaster, propels you uphill and brings you back down for gravity. And then, so we opened up our water park with one water ride, which the family said, you can't open a water park with one water ride, but it was a water coaster.
Oh.
And so I said, yes, we can. We grew up in New Braunfels, going there where the creation of the water coasters started. And so, yeah, that was just a feather in our hat to have a water coaster, and it just did great. It was a boom there.
Yeah.
And so just a couple years later, then we added a couple more water rides to the splash zone. So we have 3 water slides and a splash zone there that are open basically through April into September.
That's really great. ZDT is such a great thing for Seguin to have. It's a great way for kids to be able to come here and enjoy stuff and not have to travel, especially if their parents are working or things like that. And they can bring them here for a short period of time, or for just, a
they get
staycation
season passes. Yeah. We have a lot of guests that come from out of town, but Seguin does support us. They come and they have their season passes, and some that come here every day that we're open, it feels like, and then others that, come here off and on with them. So, kind of.
Well, I'm really glad that you brought your vision to Seguin and that you've been here for 17 years, and we've all been able to enjoy it. If anybody wants to find out about your business or your business hours or how they can get a season pass, what should they do?
Just go to our website at zdtamusement.com. You can basically Google ZDT and we're pulling up. And yeah, it has all the hours, all the information.
If they want to rent out a room for a private
they
party?
want to rent out, everything is online.
Okay.
It's all automated. When they can call in, they can book parties online, or they can talk to a human as well. So we allow you to do both here.
All right. Well, that's great news.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for catching up with us today, Danny. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you guys next time on Tailgate Talk.
Thanks for tuning in today, and thank you to our guests for sharing their story. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time on Tailgate Talk.